Whoa! Hello, everyone. It's quite weird acoustics up here, isn't it? Can you all hear me okay? Yeah? Okay. What makes a good cover? I think a cover should grab your attention, it should tell a story, and it should be dynamic and bold and make you want to pick up the comic and read what's inside. It's a bit obvious, but that's basically what I think makes a good cover.
Yeah, everything Jock just said with it should make you stop. If you imagine a shelf full of comic books, yours should be the cover that people linger over. Everything else should be like white noise, and yours should have a message, if you like. The thing is, it's think about how many books come out every month. They're all vying for your attention. They're all technical and nightmares with logos that scream "Buy me." I'm part 52 of a 50 times, you know, ridiculous crossover series. You've got to do something that people are going to pay attention to instead of all that rubbish.
Well, I agree with everything that you just said. You know, it's got to be the one on the shelf that yes, attracts the attention. You know, you've got to look at all the others, and if all the other covers are yellow, then you've got to draw something that isn't yellow. But there's one thing I remember being told by an American artist was that when those British artists started to work in American comics, there was something called the British pose, which consisted of a figure cut off just below the crotch. We tend not to draw the feet. I personally find the feet of the characters kind of boring. And the most interesting part of the people you're drawing are their facial expressions and them down to the waist, and then preferably with some ghastly monster that they're tackling or something. And the covers are less action-oriented than, say, a Marvel comic, I think. They're more sort of ideas-driven than action-driven. But as the others said, it's got to be the one cover that stands out, really.
I mean, I'll start with one of your early covers here, Brian. It's from Prog 23, 2000 AD. I can show it on the screen there. I mean, is this possibly one of your first covers for 2000 AD? No, that's the first one. Right.
that was the first one I did. When was this? May 1977. I beg your pardon. Prog 11, and back in those days, they hadn't realised that Judge Dredd was going to be the standout character. It took them quite a while to realise that Judge Dredd was special, so they didn't really know what to put on the covers in those days. In fact, there was a stage when we were all invited to just come up with any idea that took our fancy, right? Including one I think you've got here, with a guy with a frog in a helmet. Have you got that one?
I don't think I've got that one.
Yeah. Okay. And they would write a very short text story to go with it. But you wanted me to talk about that one?
I mean, this one particularly is, I don't know if anybody here knows, is that next month Royal Mail is celebrating 75 years of British comics with a series of 10 stamps. So that shows images from the Beano, the Dandy, Eagle, Monty, and